Carla. My name
Hi.
is Christina. I see that you've read the confidentiality agreements in the lobby. Did you have any question about that?
No.
Okay, well, it's good to see you. You explained a little bit to me your problem over the phone, and I was just wondering if you could let me know a little bit more about what brings you in today.
Yeah, so I'm seeking therapy today because I'm currently unhappy in my marriage. I've been married for about 4 years now, and I'm just not happy with how things are going. And I didn't imagine my marriage to be, or it would reach to this at the point that it is so quickly. I've been unhappy for a few years now, and I don't know. I'm just looking to see what options I can get personally to bring back to my marriage.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. So, what I'm hearing is basically that, you're having some struggles in your marriage and you're unhappy. And when did this begin for you?
Well, I've been feeling down for the past couple of years, I would say, but it's been a little bit more of a stronger feeling, maybe within the last 2 months, 2 to 3 months. I feel stuck. I feel like I don't like the way my partner treats me. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like my opinions don't matter,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I'm just not happy. We just had a baby um,
Oh, wow. Okay.
about a year and a half ago,
Uh-huh.
um, and yeah, it's just been very tough.
Yeah, those sound very stressful. And with a new baby and everything, I'm sure your time is very much devoted to your
Mm-hmm.
baby. So, you said this sort of really started bothering you 2 months ago. Did anything happen 2 months ago? Was there a fight or something?
I think about 2 months ago, I began to feel numb.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't put as much importance as I have in the past on certain issues,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I'm just settling. Like I don't know. I just, the best way to describe it is numb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you've sort of been just feeling numb, and how have you sort of been dealing with these feelings?
Just staying busy, avoiding going home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not so much my son, not avoiding him at all,
Yeah.
but um, on the contrary, I love him. It's just that I just don't want to be home. Any opportunity I can to pick up overtime,
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
It gets to the point where I don't even want to argue. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm avoiding situations now more than ever.
Mm-hmm. And so that sounds very difficult, and it's really hard to sort of be able to talk about these things. But have you tried talking to him about this?
It always ends up in a fight. Always. Like I feel like I always have to run everything by him in order
Mm-hmm.
to make a decision. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not supported to make my own decisions, and that's really bothering me. Um, he's just very rude to me. Sometimes he'll cuss at me. He won't call me any names, but
Mm-hmm.
if he's addressing a certain question to me and he's upset, then he'll use like the F word or the S
Mm-hmm.
word, or
Yeah.
it's just very harsh language that I'm not used to, using or being addressed, I guess, in that manner. Um, yeah.
Absolutely. That sounds, I feel like anybody would feel very disrespected when talked to like that. So, when you say you sort of bring these things up, you and your husband just argue about it. And how has that been affecting your work life, if it has, and your relationships with other people? What's your support system like?
Yeah, I mean, I have a best friend that I confide in. As far as work, I mean, I have a strong support system in terms of like my family.
Good.
But I don't. think they know the full extent of it.
Mhm.
At work, that's a whole other situation as well because prior to getting pregnant, I was in a different position that I was very happy in.
Mhm.
However, the work um, hours were unrealistic for me as a new mother,
Mhm.
so I decided to switch over to another position. It's more like office work now, and it's more like 9 to 5 type
Mhm.
of hours. Although sometimes I do start really early, like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. Um, but I have my Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays off, which is great. But I'm definitely not as happy as I was in my other position.
Okay.
Where
So,
I was out in the community more.
oh, I see. I see.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think that sort of work adjustment might also be contributing to some of your stresses?
Um, I would say so. I just feel like I'm not happy at home. I'm not happy with my job. The only thing that I find a blessing is my son at this point in time, and of course my family.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing with me. So, because you're here today, I just sort of want to ask you, what are some of your goals that we can work on together in these therapy sessions?
So as far as goals, I don't want to feel sad anymore. Like I feel really sad. I don't feel like myself. Any advice that you can give me or help me, as far as like making my own decisions to improve the quality of my life, I'm completely open to. Um, yeah.
Great. Well, I'm really happy that you came in today, and I'm glad you're so open. And so I'm just going to ask you a little more questions to sort of get into more detail of these sort of numb feelings that you mentioned, and we want to work on making you feel better and be able to deal with certain problems on your own. So, do you ever feel any depressed moods, or is it usually just sort of unhappy?
I mean, I think I am depressed. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how severe it is,
Mm-hmm.
but I find myself not really feeling motivated unless it's, catering to my son. To really
Yeah.
want to do anything for myself.
Yeah.
Um, I'm 35 now. I'm at this point in my life where I have a kid and I'm married and I'm not happy.
Mm-hmm. And do you experience any physical discomforts, or is it just mostly, you think about things and are unhappy?
Well, when I really, really start thinking about how unhappy I am, I do feel not like a nauseated feeling, but almost like an empty feeling in my stomach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense. Um, and I feel like sometimes my shoulders are tense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And do you do anything to sort of relax? I know you have a son to take care of, and your job is 9 to 5. Have you taken time out to sort of do any self-care or anything?
Like I'll go to the gym occasionally. Um, One thing that has made me happy recently is I've been able to get my body weight back to what it was before I had the baby. So that's something I've been working on that, I'm proud of.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, like I feel like sometimes I close out my support system and I
Mhm.
isolate myself.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. So what I'm hearing is primarily that you're here because you're unhappy with your marriage and you sort of want to be able to work through it and just to make yourself feel, a little bit better about everything. So, in terms of your relationship with your husband, was there a time where everything was very good? I mean, before you had the baby, you said things were going well.